This is Party of One Says Go Birds, a monthly celebration of my two favorite things in the world, tabletop role-playing games in the city of brotherly love. I am Jeff Stormer. This is Party of One, a two-player podcast about getting to know people through the shared universal act of play. And today, I am sitting down with somebody that I don't need to get to know because I was trying to put a number to how long we have known each other as people, and it was upsetting. The number was upsetting. I'm sitting down with Patrick Kenny. Pat, thanks so much for sitting down with me.
Jeff, I am so excited to be here. I think the actual number is 25.
I was trying to say about a quarter century sounds right.
Oh, that's not bad.
There's a lot of ways to phrase it that don't sound sound good.
Jeff and I met late in the last millennium.
Yep. That's another good way to put it. When there was a 1 on the calendar, that's a good way to think of it.
Oh
yeah.
Wow. I'm gonna sit with that for a second.
Let's all sit with it for a second. How's the back pain doing?
It's actually just starting. That's a depressing question. I'm sitting with a pillow right now.
Me too. There's a reason that I asked it.
Oh man.
I'm so excited. We have the object that's in front of us that truly has me unwell. We will talk about it in a bit. But before we do that, why don't you take a moment and let our lovely listeners at home know about what you got going on you want them to know about?
So, oh, Jesus Christ. So when I said I sometimes, yeah. Anyway, this is lovely.
You're good. Talk to me about the podcast that you host.
That would be wonderful. So one of the reasons I'm here is because, I turned 40 and I'm just a generic guy. So of course I have a podcast.
We all do.
A buddy of mine went to Scotland. He said, I want to read Lord of the Rings, but I'm not going to do it alone.
Sure.
And then he said, Pat, do you want to read Lord of the Rings together? I said, yes. And he grabbed his wife and she's in, and then Laura heard about it with my wife. So the four of us got together. Fool of a Took is a chapter-by-chapter read-through of the Lord of the Rings for entry-level people, no spoilers. It's like a drunk book club. It's fantastic. We have like 44 episodes on YouTube right now. We've gone up through the end of the Two Towers. Third season is getting rolling now for the Return of the King. It's going to be a blast. I love doing it so much. And I'm so glad to be on your podcast, specifically, Jeff. And I don't know if anyone else has done this for you before, but I got a tattoo for this.
I'm so excited about that. No, I can safely say that's a first.
Yeah.
Which we've been, when the show is 10 years old, it's not easy to get a first, and so that is very impressive.
Would you like to see it?
I would love to see it.
I can even show it in public.
Great. I'm glad that you said that after asking if I wanted to see it, to be clear. God, that fucks. That rips. That's real good.
Yeah, so before we came here, we went to the Philadelphia Tattoo Convention, and my brother dragooned me into getting something. And,
sure.
It's fine. I love it. I got the Tree of Gondor on my left arm.
Great.
My first tattoo. I got it on a whim about an hour ago.
I'm so excited.
Specifically for this show.
I'm really excited. I'm excited that that's the energy that you're bringing to the game that we're sitting down to play.
I fucking love Lord of the Rings.
I feel like immediately after a tattoo is the level of vulnerability that I want all of my guests to have. And honestly, we might just make this part of the process moving forward.
Yeah. I'm for that.
I think it gives a lasting reminder of the experience that we shared. We are sitting down today, appropriately enough, the object that I mentioned is a full-scale map of Middle-earth that is laid out before us. It is for the 1992 role-playing game, Middle-earth Role-Playing, which I have an entire story about.
The copyright here says 1989.
That sounds right. Sounds right.
I hate this.
I am so excited. We're sitting down to play Goons, which is a hack of Tunnel Goons, which is a very lightweight, minimalist adventure game set in Middle-earth, about like adventuring in Middle-earth. So we've got this map in front of us, and we've got our characters rolled up. But I want to ask you, and I think broadly I want to ask you this. Is a two-part question. What was your first experience with Lord of the Rings, and what has kept you coming back to it year over year over year?
That is an awesome question, and it's one of the reasons I love doing the podcast so much, because for me, The Lord of the Rings and The Hobbit were like a family affair.
Sure, totally.
The Hobbit was the summer book that my mother would read to us on vacation.
Incredible.
So like we get a chapter a night as the kids, and we all go to bed, and it was amazing. We got a little older, she started doing Lord of the Rings.
Sure, totally.
And then it became like an annual reread.
I love that so much.
And then because I just couldn't get enough of it, and because the movies were a distant dream in the 90s.
For sure.
I would read The Lord of the Rings multiple times, and then you get into like all the other source material. You get into Silmarillion, you get into all the fun stuff, and it's just wild, and it's this huge, beautiful, deep world.
Totally.
And honestly, when they came out with the movies, some of the best movies ever made. I stand by that. I will die by that.
I mean, they are. It is cliche to say they don't make them like that anymore, and maybe I say that partially because I've seen enough of the side-by-side photos of what happens when a giant corporation makes a Lord of the Rings thing now versus what they made in 2000. But there's a level of like craft and intentionality and like handmade energy to those movies that I think, like, as a pure film guy, I look at it and I go like, man, the movies are good.
Yeah. And I mean, that's outstanding because it just kind of like juiced Lord of the Rings and pushed
totally.
it into mainstream. And I think turning 40 in this world has been real weird in a lot of ways. But
Sure has.
as a like a dyed-in-the-wool nerd, the fact that like, okay, the nerds have money now and now we get to spend things, so we drive culture a little bit.
Yep.
It's been amazing. Like 15-year-old me could not imagine today doing this. But the thing I love about Lord of the Rings is that it is so deep. The writing is amazing. It's a classic for a reason. The intentionality of Tolkien's writing, the language, the story, the depth of the world, it's unimaginable. I love sharing it. I love exploring it, and I fucking love maps.
I do love a good map. This map I'm staring at. I think maps are the thing that I fell in love with long before I fell in love with any specific fantasy thing. Is just going like, oh, there's some woods there and a mountain. Fuck yeah, dude.
Right? Because like a map allows you to contextualize so many things in a fantasy setting or any world.
I think the first time it happened, I could tell you the first time I had a specific experience. I was 6 years old, and it was the Silver Chair. Is the first time the experience happened when I opened a book, and the first thing that you see in the book is a drawn out map, and the way my shot, I still at 30 years old remember the experience of going, what the there's a map? Oh fuck.
Right.
Oh no.
Yeah. Well, like for me, I grew up loving history too.
Sure, totally.
And so for me, being able to like having things on a map, like sort of legitimizes it.
It
creates
really,
a
really does.
structure. It creates, the idea that you can hang stuff from this.
Yeah.
And it creates empty spaces.
100%.
And what do you do with those spaces? You fill them.
You put stuff there.
Yeah. And that's what I love and hate about the map we're staring at right now. There's so much beige with nothing in it.
So much blank. It's breathtaking.
It's exciting and terrifying.
And it's great because the scale of it, I can look at a blank spot and go, that's 100 miles of empty.
Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah, because the map we're looking at is the entirety of Middle Earth in the north and the west and all the way out east to Rune. Like, for all you Lord of the Rings folks, we are all the way from the Western Sea all the way out to the Sea of Rune and past Mordor and all the rest of it. It is everything you could ever want to see, and there are so few labeled places.
It's so great. I'm so excited. I'm unwell. And can I tell you, I asked you today because the game that we're playing, Goons specifically states that travel is not an abstract thing and that you should have a full-scale map of Middle Earth for you to look at. So I asked you today, I was like, do you have a map of Middle Earth that you can bring to this recording?
And you sent me that question, and I was like, of course I do.
I knew the answer was yes, but like you have to ask it. Like I can't just be like, bring one of your maps of Middle Earth. Like that is an objectively insane request.
Well, yeah, but
I knew the answer was yes, but I can't say it like that.
Well, I'm glad you thought to add more context because this was not my first choice or even my second, third, or fourth choice.
Funny. It's so funny.
I have so many maps, but this was the one where you're like, we should be able to fold it out. It should be like a travel map.
Yeah.
I was like, yeah, this is the thing.
Great. Now, you could not have known this when you grabbed this specific map. Or maybe you have. We've been friends for long enough and talked about these things enough. You might know. Do you know my first experience with both role-playing games as an art form and also my first experience with the works of J.R.R. Tolkien?
No.
It is the Iron Crown Enterprises 1989 role-playing game, Middle-earth Role-Playing.
So sorry.
My brothers and I found at a yard sale in Oklahoma a worn copy of this game.
That's amazing.
And we had all been video game players. We had played video game. We were all big Dragon Quest fans, and like we knew the concept of a role playing game from video games. So we saw a book that had role playing game on the cover, and we're like, surely this is somehow connected to that.
Right.
So we grabbed it. I had no idea what a Middle Earth was. I did not know what a Lord of the Rings was. I read that book cover to cover. And thus, like, and there's little summaries of, like, this is what happens in Lord of the Rings. So, like, my first experience of the story was a 2-page summary that some guy had written in a role-playing game rulebook. And, like, that was a very strange introduction to, like, a beloved staple of culture.
Yep.
To the point where when I finally sat down with the books, I was like, this is all very familiar. And then I also kind of had the John Mulaney quicksand moment of like thinking things were going to be bigger deals because I was like, there's a whole section of this in the role playing. Like, what's going on with the Woses? I feel like they were supposed to be a much bigger deal.
Yep.
I had a lot of text about the Woses.
Oh my God. I love that because these books are full of that stuff.
Yeah.
The one thing I cannot get anyone else on the podcast to do is to commit to going through the appendices with me.
Oh, sure.
J.R. Tolkien, you know, they're going to remove his appendix, but that's where I keep the stories about why the dwarves hate the elves. Like, there's so much shit in there, and it's amazing, and none of it matters.
And none of it matters at all. And so, like, that was part of a really key part of my experience with Lord of the Rings was reading it and then the back of my mind. And this ties into like the characters we have created. I will introduce my character and then we will kind of like dive into like the actual game of the character that I am playing. Where did I put my character sheet? It is here on the floor. The character that I'm playing. This is an adaptation of legitimately the first character that I ever created in a role playing game when I was learning Middle Earth role playing. At 8 years old, again, a culture and a people of Middle Earth that I assumed were a much bigger deal. I am playing Josemaeus the Water Drake. Ooh. I am one of the corsairs of the Numenarian Sea. Because I assumed those would be like a guy that does not just show up in one shot of a boat because they had a whole section and a cool hat. Yeah. And I was like, those guys rule. And then I read the books and it's like, oh yeah, the Corsairs, they've got boats on the water. And then you watch the movie and it's one shot of a boat. And I was like, those are my guys. Those are my guys.
That's them. This is the moment.
I was like, this is it. It's over. But yeah, I saw it. You were there.
They distilled them to exactly one shot. They captured everything they needed to.
That was it. That
6 seconds.
Enough for Jeff to go, there they are. And the thing that actually, I think about Lord of the Rings that I really like, and it's easy to say it. It's especially easy to say it in 2026. But like, I think so much of the book, and it's actually kind of it's one of the gaps I think in the book, is I love how much of the book is like about the act of resisting. Like the book is about anti-fascist resistance. Like at its core, it is about the shadow overfalling and the ways that it consumes hope and the ways that it consumes culture and the ways that it like eats everything and the obligation that we have to embark and destroy it. And it is an adventure story, but it is also, hey, I saw some shit in World War I that's kind of fucked with me.
Yep.
And I think like the thing that like I brought to it, especially like revisiting it a few years ago and like thinking about some of these things is like the way that like cultures get overturned. Like the thing I experienced sitting with it in 2020, this has been 2023, 2024, is like thinking about the segments of the cultures that had been overtaken, the evil peoples of Middle Earth, and being like, there's got to be resistance groups within those cultures. And that's the thing that I latched onto, and that is this character that I was like, oh, I made this character when I was 8 years old. But if I revisit him at 40, interesting things happen.
Yeah, that's amazing.
And so the idea is Josemaeus is like a pirate in the legitimate, you know, outlaw of the seas sense of blowing up other corsair boats and like running criminal operations as an outlaw on the outer edges of the Sea of Numenor because most of the other boats are under the employ of the Shadow.
Yeah.
And the idea that there is like sects of resistance among like the pirate culture, very exciting to me. That's my pitch. That's my character pitch.
That's amazing. Because I can, if you want, I can.
Please, go for it.
So the Corsairs of Umbar, which is
Yep.
what you're talking about in like Southern Gondor and all that, they're actually a breakaway state from Gondor proper. And it's just been this like constant back and forth war.
Yeah.
It's old. It's baked into the bones of everything. And then, basically, Sauron's like, everybody who's against Gondor is my people. So let's go. He gets down there. He captures Umbar, sort of. So the idea that, you have this decentralized like Corsair pirate state, and that you've got a character who is just like existing on the fringes of that world. Yeah. And... Oh, Jeff, that's so cool. That's amazing. I'm really like, it
was one of those things where you look at your notes and you go like, man, Jeff, 8-year-old Jeff, I don't know that you did not know what you were cooking on because you just thought pirates were cool, but you were cooking. Hand it to 8-year-old Jeff.
Wow. There's so much going on there with that character. And there's like, that is speaking to me on so many levels. It's speaking to today to so many levels. I am legitimately embarrassed to talk about the character I came up with.
No, this is great because like talk to me about the character that you are playing that like, and like give me an idea of like where that character lives that like you might be meeting up with Josemaeus for the first time, shades of Gandalf showing up in the Shire. Like, where are we in the world? Where is your character living? What is your character's name and deal? Like, give me the rundown.
Okay. So where this character came from was part of the podcast. At some point in the Fellowship of the Ring, we looked at each other and we're like, what would your Hobbit name be?
Sure.
And, we handed each other some really insightful and fun stuff. I gave my wife like the name like Hearthheart or something because she loves to bake and she's very sweet. And she looks around at the rest of the people and she goes, "You know who Pat is? Pat's a long-winded Mac."
That's really fucking funny. You know what? You got it. You're correct.
Right. I mean, I'm not saying she was wrong. She cut to the heart of who I am and understood it as only someone who's known me for 20 years can.
Sometimes you get seen in a way that you're like, yeah, you got me. I can't refute this. Mm-hmm. You just have to like go take a walk.
Yeah. And well, on the upside, it's captured on video on YouTube, so it'll be there forever.
Great. Good.
So I bring to you Long-Winded Mac.
Great.
He's sort of this like hobbit who really wants to be like an adventurer, but probably thinks he knows more than he does because he reads a lot of books about it.
Yep, sure.
But he's got just enough going on, just enough like experience to where he hasn't died doing any of the little things he does. Mm-hmm. But he's also somebody who definitely doesn't want to sleep outdoors 3 nights in a row.
Sure, totally. And I think like you said that to me before we got on mic, and like I think that's the crux of our character's friendship. Because like if you're on a boat, that's kind of sleeping inside.
It really is.
And so
it's so exciting.
The idea that like you got that like we have done some kind of job together in the past. Mm-hmm. Like, and even if it was a like little bit of a grift of like, I'm gonna take you out on the water. Oh my God, a big fish. Like, even if it was a way to part a fool from his money for a day or two,
oh
like,
my God.
There is something really fun that like we have worked together because, hey, going out on the water, like, I get a bed, mm-hmm. I get a room,
and so for like, but here's
I get rum.
Yeah, never had rum before.
Exactly.
And being like hobbits, like one of their cultural things is like the water is. You don't go on the water.
Yeah, right.
In the Lord of the Rings, Frodo's parents actually drown in a riverboat accident.
That's
so like,
crazy. I did not know that.
That's why he gets adopted by Bilbo in the first place.
Incredible.
So like Long-Winded Mac, kind of a rebel in a very gentle way.
Sure, totally.
But very excited about the wider world, very excited to do new things and to be known for it a little bit. I love the idea that you just like took him for a boat ride, and that's like that's the thing that he loves most about his entire life is that he went on a pirate adventure.
And it was truly, I think it like I this gives such a character detail to Josemaeus as like a guy that like a little bit can't resist being in the spotlight of like, oh, this guy thinks that I'm a big cool pirate. It's the equivalent of like you own a motorcycle and somebody thinks you're a cool biker, and so you hop them on the back of the bike and then drive them around the block and then pull back up. Jeff is now saying this and contextualizing specific outings that he had with his father in his teenage years. That like, you know what? Thank you, Dad. I appreciated it.
There it is.
And it's the fantasy equivalent of we're gonna go around the block, and so it's like we're gonna take a river for 2 days. I'm gonna take you to the we got about to if it's the Shire, we got about to here, and then looped. We went to about Aaron Vorn, and then just kind of came back.
Yep. We went, oh, wow. So we went all the way down the river. We went all the way down the Brandywine.
Yeah.
Down to the coast. We saw the coast. My God, I saw the sea.
You saw the sea.
I saw the sea. I think I saw the Blue Mountains.
They're probably in the distance.
Yeah, maybe. Who knows? I'm sure you told me that's exactly what they were.
Yeah, that's exactly it.
But I've seen more of the world than most hobbits ever will.
That's true.
And I'm waiting. I'm so excited for my pirate friend to come back.
Are we in Bree? Are we in the Shire proper? Where is this? I think you have gotten maybe a letter or a messenger has come to say that the water drake has is seeking your company.
Yeah,
is that happening on the riverside? Is it happening in a tavern? Where do you see that conversation happening?
I think Bree, because I think that's a good crossroads. It's got the north-south road. It's a similar reason why Gandalf took the Fellowship there or sent them there.
Yeah.
It's for what it is, it's the place to get international news, essentially.
Sure.
So, yeah.
That feels good. So we have met in a bar. Mm-hmm. And I think in terms of visuals, the face casting that I have for this character is a little bit Matthew Barry. It's a little bit
Yes.
it's a little bit heavyset beard, beard, shoulder length hair, kind of puffy outfit with the puffy shoulders and the little bit of the almost a little bit of unnecessary flourish.
Yes.
In the way that
the most devious man in Umbar.
Yeah, exactly. And I think that's the kind of flair. He's telling a story, and I think is in the midst of this big interaction when he sees you come in and kind of drops it a little bit and pats some people and cheers us some glasses and is let us grab a table, my friend. We should talk.
I love this. Okay, so forgive me, because the game is it's free form. So where do we take it from here? Because do you have an idea for the story or
tell me this, where do you? I think you get a sense that Joe's Maze has something important to tell you.
Okay. All right.
Where are you having that conversation?
Okay. So we are, because I need the authentic.
Yeah.
We are in the main room at the tavern.
Yeah, sure.
In Bree. I have overpacked for everything.
Yeah, sure.
I'm prepared to do absolutely anything. I've got 3 overloaded ponies. I've got a manservant maybe. We'll talk about whether or not he's going to come any further. But it's I am so ready. I barely know what's going to happen.
Yeah.
And Longwinded Mac is just somebody who he wants this so bad. It's edge of my seat. Tell me, what are we going to do? What do you need? Why am I here?
And you think he leans forward and he's like, I, as you know many things of the world and the water. I have laid siege to the oceans and claimed it as my terrain. It is my rightful place as king of all pirates, that the sea is my domain. Here's my dilemma. The rest of it.
Fair, yeah.
I need someone. In my travels, I have, let's say, made a diplomatic parlay, if you must call it that,
right.
with a boat on the water, and I've received a word of warning, and I need someone to guide me the way that I guided you on the water. What do you know of Gondor and its and Minas Tirith and the royalty therein?
Well, having read several books, I can tell you. And actually, we need to talk about this for a second. Where in the timeline are we?
This is a great question. I have maybe 2 pitches for where we are. So, for context, the thing that you're about to learn is that Lord Denethor has done something dumb.
Okay.
Because the Palantir has been whispering in his ear.
Okay.
My immediate the 2 pitches that I think immediately stand out are either in between the events of The Hobbit and Lord of the Rings, or in, I forget if it's 6 or 12, but in Frodo Baggins' gap year. Frodo Baggins' Brumspring.
Right. No, so I think honestly, like so in the book there's a 17-year gap.
17-year gap
between the long expected party.
Yeah.
When Bilbo leaves and Frodo gets inherits this weapon of mass destruction, and Gandalf just like fucks off.
Just leaves for a while.
Right. So in that 17-year gap is perfect because it means like Gondor's still up. There's still things going on. Boromir's not dead yet.
Boromir's not dead.
Okay. All right, so we'll be in that.
This is we're right in the midst of it. Like armies are gathering, uncertainty is in the air. Denethor is at the crown. Like Denethor is in Minas Tirith, staring in, pondering his orb, and like what do you know of Denethor and Minas Tirith and Gondor?
Well, the stewards of Gondor have they've ruled Gondor as stewards for many years, and they're awaiting the kings of Gondor. And as you know, Gondor is the southern kingdom, and Arnor is the northern kingdom. The Shire's in Arnor, so really, he's almost like my king. So it's very exciting.
So you believe? So if I were to tell you that the steward of Gondor, one of the stewards of Gondor, is a doddering old fool who has sent one of the sons of the king to his assured death, this would be new information.
Well, technically the steward is the king, and if he was going to do this, I mean, that's terrible. It's terrible.
I received word. I'm now going to read the text. This game has like 10 different tables to roll on to generate an adventure, and I'm going to read to you the plot that we are grappling with.
Oh, I love this.
Lord Denethor has received word from his magical palantir that he gazes into to eye the activities of the shadow. That there is an ancient blade buried in a tomb I'm going to say, in one of the mountain ranges where there would be tombs. Angmar feels appropriate, but I was also maybe thinking by the other direction. One of the mountain ranges contains a tomb that has supposedly a blade buried in it. He has dispatched Faramir of the Riders of Rohan to retrieve it, but the shadow speaks to him with lies. The tomb contains naught but a terrible curse, and if he is allowed to open that tomb, a terrible fate awaits not just him but all of the lands nearby.
Okay. I love Angmar for this because Angmar is, for a brief history lesson, Angmar is in the north. It's the old seat of evil.
Yep. It's where the Witch King is. It's where the Witch King is from.
It is the haunted ruins of Morgoth's mortal realm. It's the nightmare thing. It's basically why the Dunedain Rangers exist.
Yep.
Because they have to,
somebody's got to exist to fuck up to kill ghosts.
Basically, yeah. So yeah, I feel like Angmar's really cool. Although Ered Luin and the mountains in the west are like the Blue Mountains. They've got like dwarves, and it's a little more interesting. It's a little more civilized. It's a lot closer to like the Grey Havens. There's more elvish activity out there. Angmar. So on a scale from like 1 to 10. The Blue Mountains would be like a 4.
Sure.
And Angmar's like maybe more like a 9.
Yeah, right. I'm thinking I actually really love it being in the Blue Mountains. Okay. And I love it being in the Blue Mountains specifically because I don't have a picture of I know who the person in the tomb is, or like the origin point of the tomb, and the idea that it is the former seat of the dwarves who have largely like abandoned that, which if I'm remembering the Blue Mountains is like a former stronghold of the dwarves, right?
It's kind of like a second tier bumpkin country at this point.
Yeah.
A lot of coal mining type stuff.
Right. I think that feels...
Think like Wales.
That feels good for where I think this tomb might stay. And that gives us some fun terrain to walk over and also some fun like interactions to be had while we are being beset upon by whatever horrors are going to beset upon us.
Yeah, and oh my god, because the game where it's like, I think the game uses the words, we expect you to use a trademarked like actual map with a scale.
Yeah.
And like, this is not a game.
No, this is the game is now we're going to look at this and say like, we know where this tomb is. It is probably about, I'm going to put it about like at the midpoint the midpoint of the the southern midpoint of the Blue Mountains on the western side, a little bit north of Loon, or the eastern side, I should say. Like, I think like there's about good. I think that's about a good spot.
Okay, so we're gonna go right. I'm gonna put a die there.
Great.
To mark that location.
That feels good.
And there's a nightmare of terrain between there and
that's,
Bree.
I think, the other thing. Like, this feels good because I'm more excited about the travel piece of this, of like racing to, because now here's what other thing I'm going to put down, which is Faramir is probably departing probably around like Fangorn-ish, I think, is where we have gotten word that he's.
So Faramir is the son of Denethor?
Yes. So would he be departing from Minas Tirith?
Yes.
Okay, great. Which means we've got a rough picture of like his route.
That's a long way.
That's a long way. And I think like we have like, it has taken time for like word to get from here to like over here in the seas. Like somebody had to come out on the water, get sniped around Umbar, and then Umbar and then Josimaeus had to come here.
Yeah.
Which means that like a good chunk of this trip has already happened.
Oh, okay, so part of me is I like the idea that Josimaeus is he's also kind of like buying the shit that Mac is selling.
Yeah, I think a little bit. Like
he's like, Mac clearly knows this country. This is his corner of the world.
Mac knows this corner of the world in a way that I don't, and knows that like Faramir is somewhere in between these 2 points.
Okay, so it's roughly a 1,200 mile.
Somewhere in a 1,200 mile stretch. Roughly in this 1,200 mile stretch. Like, and I think like maybe that's even. I'll put this to you because I think this is a good role play moment. Is like. He kind of lays out these details, and we've got the full map of the region laid out in front of us in character, and we're like,
we got it out. We got the.
Where would he? We know that he would be traveling by horse. Faramir he and his retinue will be traveling by horse. They must have left a week or two ago.
Okay.
I would say.
So, and they can travel about 25, according to the rules,
about
25 miles a day.
So that's about that.
So, you know what we can do, Jeff? We'll do the paper trick. We'll get out a piece of paper. We'll make a ruler.
Great. Making a ruler fucks so much. Here's the thing. Like, there are rules for us to engage with the thing, but like, this is the joy of the experience.
Quick idea of.
So we've got, what is that? About 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8.
8. So it's about 30 miles a pop.
About 30 miles a pop. Honestly,
this is the best.
At about like an 8-day arc, he's probably made it about 100. He's probably about 2 weeks. He's probably made it about there to about here.
Okay. All right. So that brings him to basically the middle of Rohan. He follows the road west. He's going to shoot the gap of Rohan south of Minas Tirith, or south of, Orthanc, where Saruman is. And if Saruman's not playing his games yet, because it's about 15, 20 years before the Lord of the Rings.
Yep.
So Saruman is probably still playing the friend.
Yep.
So he's going to shoot the gap of Rohan and then pick up the Great Western Road, and then he's probably going to come up this way, and he's going to skirt the Shire because there's a Western Road that's a more direct route. He's going to take the road to the end of the road.
Yep.
And then actually it's at the western end of the Shire, and then probably beeline through the open country, cross the Gulf of Loon, somewhere north of the Grey Havens, and then pop himself up into here, grab one of these ridges, and then head on in.
So we've got time if we're here, right?
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Out there.
Yep.
We've got time to intercept in a few different ways.
Mm-hmm. So
you are the expert here. You tell me where we want to Mac, tell me where we want to intercept this party.
Well, we are sitting in Bree, so we are approximately. He's still probably twice as far as we are.
Yeah.
So we can basically, if we head west through the Shire, pick up the main road, and then to take the road south, we should meet him coming north.
That sounds great. I trust you. Gather your men and we'll depart.
Very well.
Great.
Perfect. Like now?
Yeah. Time is of the essence.
Oh.
I mean, unless you and your ex, and I think like I love this idea that there's like a mutual sort of slight bullshitting where we're both sort of like, because I think there is a moment where he's like, unless we think that a meal and a night's sleep is in order first, unless we have time to bide, at which point.
Well, hydration is important, and being well rested is very important.
That's very true.
And
that's very, very true.
Once we get to a certain point, we will not be on the road.
We should enjoy the comforts of civilization while we have them. Sure,
we ought to. Yes, and I appreciate so very much that you showed me so much of the world aboard your magnificent ship. I would love for you to stay a night or 2 or 3 here. We will eat local food. You can meet some people. It'll be very exciting. And then, when we feel properly limbered, properly lubricated, we can be on our way. Because, and this is something, looking at the map, you would understand, if we go too quickly, we'll run out of road before we meet Faramir and have to rough it across the country.
That's entirely true.
So we can delay works to our favor.
It does indeed. I'm laying this down to check a distance thing, and oh boy, yes indeed, great, good, wonderful.
5, 6, 7, 8. Oh, she's.
We are counting out. We are measuring it on our map.
Jeff, that's what is it? It's about 700 miles.
Okay, great.
That's a
long time.
That's going to take about a month.
Great. So we've got some time.
Yes.
We've got time to prepare.
Oh Lord, that's a lot of rolls.
A lot of rolls.
I know just enough about this game to know the number of rolls we have to make.
I've added a dice. Actually, need to make it a different color of dice because I'm adding a dice. I'm adding a detail to get us to some action. I think, and this is where I'm going to add. I'm gonna make a character quickly to go through the character creation process. What do we have? We have a hobbit and a man. What do we think? Do we want another one of these cultures? Another one of the peoples of Middle Earth? I think this is one of maybe. Character-wise, this is one of Josemaeus's like advanced scouts or like informants or like criminal buddies.
Okay, I love the idea of criminal buddies. What if we get a dwarf and he plays the straight man to the bullshit?
That feels good. This person's name is
Laura. What's the name of a criminal dwarf? Yeah, nothing? Okay. Gimli? No. He murders a lot of things. He does commit a lot of crime. And he's actually an accomplished adventurer, which is really cool because, like, when you get to the Council of Elrond and you meet everybody, it's like you don't really get a feel for who and what everybody is. But, like, all of the dwarves there are name takers and motherfuckers. Mm-hmm. And what I love is that Legolas's whole job was to show up and basically say, sorry, we lost Gollum. My bad. And then ends up joining this ragtag adventure to leave. And I'm sure, and I don't know how he sends a message back to his dad, or even if he does, but I imagine there's a follow-up letter to Elrond in Rivendell, like, Elrond, did my son ever make it? Has anyone seen Legolas? Oh, absolutely. Sorry about that. We know you let Gollum go, and he seemed really gung-ho about taking, I actually can't tell you, but he's in incredible danger. But, right. Okay, what do we got?
Froen, cloak kind of like comes like strutting in. And I think there's a moment where like we're 2 or 3 rounds deep.
Yeah.
And a dwarf comes in with a cloak. And I think like the second Josemaeus sees him, his demeanor drops, right? This is the equivalent of like Tony Soprano seeing like one of his guys when he's out at Artie Bucco's restaurant, and like it's the equivalent of like, why are you meeting me at my place of leisure? Froen like sits down and is like, enjoying your meal, gentlemen? Am I interrupting something?
No, sir. Well, you're welcome to join our table. I suppose.
have more, and I think like Joseph May is like, this is Frowen, one of my eyes on the rest of the world.
Ooh.
Fellow adventurer such as yourself.
So very accomplished. Oh, very well.
And
Very well.
accomplished. And I think he's like, I'm the guy that Joseph Mays hires to kill people.
That feels very outside of Max's like comfort zone.
I think.
Just
I think. What I think Frowen is here to convey. And he sits down. And he's like, you know, what word do you have? Like, have you had eyes on Faramir's trip? I know they're still about a month out, so we've got time to kind of rally our forces and meet them. And he says, like, I'm not here to talk about Faramir's retinue. There is another. There is a second retinue, and they are much closer.
Oh. Mac is still probably like really starting to wonder what's going on. Uncomfortable, but incredibly interested.
There is a group. He's like, I've kind of watched. We saw another group depart. You know, trying to think where he would have encountered. Where. Here's the situation, and you tell me how this person got this information or how this would have come across. There is a second retinue, an unknown force out of Orthanc. I love when you hear your friend in Palayer say a thing and you're like, oh yeah, we got to interject that into some shit. There is a second company out of Orthanc also moving in the same direction and moving swifter and with a more direct intent than Faramir, who is kind of moving not leisurely, but like covertly. Like this is a group moving much more overtly. A second retinue is en route to the same location.
Okay, so the good news is I think that there is if you look at the map here, one of the few labeled towns is Tharbad.
Yep.
It's here. It's a ford on the river. It's on the road.
Yep.
It's an excellent choke point. And it kind of, for the geography of it, it sort of makes sense where if
Frowen was there
and then raced to Bree.
Yeah.
And as long as he is moving faster than they are, they're still on the Western Road somewhere. Yeah. Coming up to the border of the Shire, which means we have to race the 100 miles across the Shire in order to find
intercept
them before they leave the road and go off into the wilderness, and we'll never find them.
That feels great. There's our hook. There's our immediate threat.
Oh gosh.
I think Joseph Mays has an immediate like, all right. Well, we head out at first light, gather your men, gather your weapons, and we ready for battle.
Battle? Yes, battle. Very well. Okay, Mac, you can do this. Okay. Mac's got a problem because he would have absolutely overpacked 3 of the fattest, cheapest ponies he could have found.
Oh, sure.
So these are not going to be a horse race across the Shire.
Right.
Suddenly he has nothing.
Right.
He does have a little bit of money.
Yep.
So he can possibly trade the ponies for maybe a slightly faster pony for himself and Mr. Frowen. I assume we will not be walking.
Yeah, Frowen, there's a mechanic where you have your means of living. This is not a one-to-one purchase, but you can spend it for like large purchases. And I think like Frowen is like, I have secured us horses.
Oh, thank God. Full-size horses?
Like, horses.
Oh, okay.
I've secured us horses. Don't, they will get us there and back.
Okay.
Well, they will get us there and then we'll leisurely walk back.
All right. Mac was absolutely not planning on bankrupting himself on this, so that is a huge sigh of relief.
I think Frowen spent one of his means on like a set of 3. The book specifically in like one of their examples of play is like somebody spent a means to buy like a fine riding horse that will get them somewhere, and I'm like, I'm doing the equivalent of doing that, but buying 3 horses.
Yeah. Okay.
So they're not great horses.
So, right, but he's also like a pirate's axe man.
Yeah.
So okay, all right. So that's a big, but Mac is still kind of like a little fish out of water. Definitely expected some leisurely fun time, some bullshit stories, some fireplace stuff, and okay, Murder Dwarf comes out of the woodwork and says, "We got to roll." Mac, you can do this. This is what you've wanted. You could do this. Okay. Very well. So first light.
First light.
Excellent. I will get us some rooms.
That sounds great. We'll rest here. I think he pauses. I think Josimaeus pauses for a moment and goes like, "Well, we could spend the money on the rooms, or we could eat, drink, and stay in authentic adventurers' lodgings."
Ooh. Oh, do tell.
I have spent one of my means before sitting down for character creation on like a small crude boat that I think is like on the river. It's the one that you wrote on once, and he's like, "Well, we could spend the money on a place to sleep, or I could sleep on my boat."
Which is that's still probably 25 miles.
All right, then never mind then.
Yeah.
Take that back. We sleep in the inn tonight.
Very well. And then we'll stop at the boat.
We stop at we should hit the boat first. We'll gather what supplies that we can. It's on the way. We can use that as a waypoint to kind of anticipate where we're going to intercept this party, because they cannot be allowed to get to the end of the road. If they get to the end of the road, they disappear, and then the doorways of that tomb are opened, and something is waiting for us on the other side.
Oh, Lord. Very well. Okay, so Mac probably also spent a significant portion of his worldly wealth on these ponies and all the rest of it, and all this adventuring gear that is now going to be left behind.
Yes.
So I guess he's gonna. So I guess we'll call the night.
Yeah.
And he's gonna spend the night doing some soul searching.
Yep.
He's gonna take his exceptionally sharp knife.
Okay.
Like 3 extra pairs of socks.
Yep.
A backpack, a good stick, and just kind of YOLO this thing.
Yeah, I think that's the play. Okay, so we are embarking on a journey. We are going about yay far, which I think we've determined is about 60-ish miles, which is going to be about like a 3-day trip.
Yep.
So we're going to make 3 rolls. We are now 47 minutes into the episode, and we're going to roll some dice for the first time. It's 3 days. We have 3 characters, and there are 3 fundamental roles. It is the hunter, the caretaker, and
the guide.
And the guide. Which of these 3 roles? Each of us are going to occupy. Which of our 3 characters are going to occupy one of these roles, and we're going to make a roll to reflect this. Which of these roles is Mac is either assigned to or volunteering for?
I think that based on this, he's definitely not a hunter. He could be kind of a caretaker, but I think he's the only one who could really be expected to be like a guide.
That feels good.
Like that's his job.
Yeah. That's what we came to you for.
All right, so the bullshit starts now.
I think that Froen is our hunter, and our caretaker has defaulted to Josimaeus, who's not
a bullshit pirate.
Yeah, a bullshit pirate has sort of taken the reins of being our caretaker.
Well, if anybody can tell good stories, it's going to be Matt Berry the pirate.
That's true. That's 100% true. So for our first day, since I think this is a good one for you to roll me 2d6.
Right.
What is let me remind myself the number that you are rolling for.
So roads and easy travel is a 6.
Great.
So on 2d6, I need to
Pat,
get...
I'm so happy that you wrote down all these helpful numbers so that we didn't have to refer back to them later.
Yeah. Okay, so that's a 5.
It's a 5.
But I get to add... oh, thank God. Wait, no. Guide is wits. I get to add a 1. We made it.
That's 6. That's a perfect success.
All right, so that's 1 success.
That is 1 success.
All right, and we just have to get more successes than failures.
We just need a second success. We make it part of the way. We are like day 1 is complete. We are on the road. We are staying.
I've managed to successfully, for everybody at home, I've managed to successfully guide us down the main road from Bree to Hobbiton.
Yes, that is correct. Just kind of a straight line.
Just back home. Yeah, just backwards. No, it's not.
I think that I'm gonna roll. I think there's an interesting
perfect guide for the Shire.
There's an interesting case here for rolling a hunting roll here, specifically under the pretext of like we've gotten to the boat. We are gathering like our weapons, and now we are like, this is not hunting like game. This is hunting our the targets that we are intercepting.
Excellent. Yep.
So this is us like this is getting into an advantageous position. This is another 6. My Frowen's vigor is +2 actually, which is great. That's a 9. That's a perfect hit. That's 2 successes. This is a successful journey.
Yeah.
And we are, I think, very close to intercepting them. I think like by this time tomorrow we will intercept them. And I think like again, this is a very good moment for this roll to happen. Because now Josemaeus is like, I gotta like psych these people up for a fight. This is him stepping into the captain's role, but with a heart of 0, which means this is all in the cards. Yo, that first dice landed at a 1. If you roll snake eyes, it's an especially terrible thing happens.
Yes.
So, where are we on the map? We're right about the end of the road. I think that we meet them right around the end of the road.
Probably like just outside of the Shire.
Just outside of the Shire. Give me a detail of the scenario. You know, I think that we are like the opening to the woods, right? We can see the woods in front of us. We know where they're going to try to run to. Are we hiding in the woods? Is this that we are like descending upon them? Let's talk strategy a little bit before we have this fight.
So, Mac has read several history books, and all the accounts say that you have to ambush somebody on the road. The details are extremely thin, but hobbits like to hide, and dwarves are less hidey, and a flashy pirate is not exactly going to be able to hide behind the same bushes as a hobbit. Mac is going to suggest that we ambush them just inside the tree line, because there are trees big enough to hide a whole ass man and some giant horses. Because again, a hobbit is like hip high. So yeah, plus it feels very like a place where Mac can run and hide when
that
things
feels
get
great.
weird.
That feels great. And I think because we got 3 successes on our journey, I think we can make actions now to like prepare, give ourselves advantageous position. We are here before they arrive. Frowen has given us word that there are about 6 of them.
Okay.
6 riders of unknown origin coming out of Orthanc are descending towards the end of the road so that they can get into the woods and get to this tomb entrance before Faramir and the riders get there on their own quest.
And standing in their way are 3 rundown horses,
a con artist pirate, his con artist hobbit friend, and the dwarf that they hire to kill people. His words. Okay. What action are we each taking? I'm going to call for we'll call this a roll. Any stat, whatever. How are we readying ourselves to take this ambush?
Okay, so Mac has no context for fighting except what he's read, so it's all theoretical. So he's going to go with wit. Okay,
great. Give me a roll and talk to me about like what the plan is that Mac is enacting.
Okay, so what Mac would like to do is, once they come in through the trees, he would love to see like a position where he could grab them from one side and hit them at a bend and do a lot of fun things. He's going to use a lot of flowery language and tactical nonsense.
Okay.
And then I think that so here's the thing, right, Jeff? In the game, you have to set a DC, so difficulty class for the roll, and then we figure out what happens.
Yeah.
So we should probably decide how hard or easy it's going to be to
I think
accomplish.
this is a 10. I think each of these will be a 10.
Okay, 10?
I think a 10 is the number to beat for each of these.
So I'm going to get plus...
And I think for each success that we get on this will allow us to put an advantage on the field that will give us a +1 to the fight that we are having.
Then I'm going to say, can we use one of those fellowship points?
Yeah.
And we'll all come together and we'll work on the plan together a little bit.
That sounds great.
That's a bonus one, so here we go. Thank God, but I don't even think that's enough. I think we have, Mac has rolled a 6. 2 for my wit.
That's 7, 8, 9. You can spend a point of hope if
Yeah, I don't think there's much hope for Mac if we don't make this, so Mac will also spend a point of hope.
Okay, that's 10. That means what's the advantage that we have on the field that's going to give that we can invoke for a +1 in the fight?
It's got to be surprise.
Yeah,
we successfully stage an ambush.
Great. which means that like during the fight that we're about to have, if we describe like you can leverage the element of surprise to gain a +1 to your attack roll.
Okay. I think that we're probably up a wooded slope from the road, and we can shoot down, we can run down. Is that kind of...
Yeah,
Okay.
I think so. And I think, like, I'm going to call this vigor because I think, like, I am using the time. Josemaeus is using the time to quite literally build some kind of log trap. I think it is quite literally like pirate shit. Like, we're building a trap here specifically because, like, they've got numbers, we've got time, and we've got time to crush them between some logs.
You're doing that, and I'm trying to theoretically recreate the battle of Cannae.
5. That's a 6, 7. I don't want to spend 3 points of hope. I think that is simply not a success, and that's simply like...
So this is the kind of like traps, quote unquote, that my brothers and I would build when we were kids in the patch of woods behind our house.
Yep.
And we would set up legitimately dangerous like fall traps where there'd be dead trees standing. We'd rig up like trip cords, and then we'd let it stay for a day or two, and then nothing would happen. And then we'd want to see it fall down, so we pull it down. And like, honest to God, I don't think we ever really considered what would happen if it worked.
Then here's what I'm going to say. I'm going to write down hazard.
Okay.
That I think what has happened, because I think this will color the fight as it unfolds. Like, there are fall traps and things here. I don't think that we can use them to our advantage, but they will certainly be things that we have to like be aware of as the fight is unfolding.
Right, like a pit on the wrong side of the road.
Yeah, like we have like it is a like if a roll goes badly in this fight, like we might be in danger of falling into a fall trap.
I love it. Okay. And then, so the only professional murderer,
Yeah.
Frowen.
It's like 1, 2, 3. I think that Faramir has about gotten to
Tharbad.
Tharbad at this moment.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay. So Frowen, also vigor, also +2. I think like Frowen is like building out like kind of, for lack of a better way to put it, like a sniper's nest. I think Frowen is like,
I love that,
carving out some tree space.
I love the idea that he's set. Okay, that's a 10.
That's a 10.
Plus his success, plus okay. So I love the idea that he's got like the big honking crossbow.
Yeah.
And he's like lining it up, and everything's greased and quiet.
I think it's so funny that like
dialing it in.
Josemaeus is like digging holes and being like, we're gonna get him, we're gonna trick him, and Mac is like, I'm gonna hide, and the one professional killer in the group is like, well, yeah, obviously, I'm just gonna take sniper shots. And we're gonna finish them that way.
We're gonna shoot the first one and then confuse the others, and then keep shooting them.
Is that not clear? So here's how mob rules work in the game. They congeal into a single threat.
Okay.
That increases the difficulty of the leader by 3.
Okay.
Which means that like there is one elite, like there's clearly a leader. There is like an what we can see now is an orc.
Oh no.
Like a group of orc riders are like racing.
Oh Lord. Okay.
There's about 6 of them. One of them is clearly a leader, and the others are just kind of like rabble behind them, tearing up this road, heading straight for our current location.
Are these like prototype Urukai?
I think so.
The weird, like first pancake weird orcs.
Yeah, I think they're first pancake weird orcs. They're not the. I don't think that any of them are as dangerous as like an Urukai. I think these are Saruman rounded up some guys.
Perfect. Awesome.
I think this is Saruman. This is so like I don't even know quite like they are like explicitly orc as much as they might just be like
really ugly.
Just like kind of shitty guys.
Okay. Here's my question. So the way this works is we roll against the difficulty of the leaders. He gets +3 for the mob.
Yeah.
Where does weird, shitty person land us?
I've got them between an 8 and a 10, like 10 for the leader, 8 for the group.
Okay.
So that puts the leader at a 13 as the DS.
That's wild, because that means on 2d6, in order to fight these guys, we're going to have to get a 13 or better.
There's a reason that we put a bunch of bonuses on the board.
All right, here we go.
There's a reason that we put a bunch of bonuses on the board.
Okay.
I think Frowen's going to take the shot. We got the element of surprise.
Oh, hope.
We've also got hope.
Hope. No. Hope is not just a blank +1. If you use hope, you say you're going to use hope ahead of the roll.
Yep.
And if you do, you get to re-roll one of your dice.
Yes. Okay. Great. I think that we're gonna. I think
everyone's going to start hoping real hard.
Frowen's going to hope real hard at this moment, and is going to say like, okay, let's go. So we're going to re-roll one of our dice, potentially. That drops his hope down to 2. We got the +1 to the sniper's nest.
Can we start the ambush with whatever nonsense
Yes.
the pirates cooked up?
Yeah, I think so. I think that's the play.
Okay.
I think that's the play. I think like it is we've got this hazard. It's not going to help us, but we could nonetheless use it. I think it is I think Joseph Mesa's plan is jump out, like scare them to a way to drive them towards where the fall traps are.
Okay.
So that we can then use them to our advantage.
Excellent. All right, so here we go.
We've got the surprise. I can't invoke the sniper's nest. Definitely invoking a hope. That's +3. I need to get a 10 or better on these 2d6.
You could do this. You could do this. You could.
That's a 6.
Okay. Okay, that's
a
one.
1. We're gonna roll.
Mhm.
That's 2
Okay,
6s.
okay.
Not only is that a success, but an extraordinary thing happens.
So whenever you roll 2d6 on Snake Eyes, the worst possible thing happens. But if you roll boxcars, the best possible thing happens. So, oh my God, does it work? Does he just like drop a tree on them? Like,
I think here's what I think has happened. Because I was thinking about a thing. Hold on, just 1 second.
sure. So, I'm going to tell you exactly what's coming to mind. Is that scene in Return of the Jedi?
Yep.
When the Ewoks have built their little like tree slam together trap.
Yep.
And the 2 logs come flying out from either side and smash up an ATST. That's just cooked in my brain.
I think that's it. I think that works. Like that works exactly right. Because this is now a 12 plus 12, 13, 14, 15, which means the delta between these two, the way this works is if you pass the difficulty score, you do damage equal to the difference between your roll and the score itself.
Yes.
Which means this goes from a 13 to an 11. And I'm going to say what that means is that one of these guys goes down by 2. One of the orcs is slammed between 2 trees, knocked off of his horse, and like scatters a little bit. And I think the extraordinary thing is we have been measuring distance. We have been measuring distance by like the game's text and also like the ordinary rules of Middle-earth that don't factor in particular sources of extreme magic.
Yeah.
I think these motherfuckers are a lot closer.
You think Faramir's riding up?
I think Faramir's riding up on some spectacular horses that are tearing ass.
That's amazing.
Because in part because I think that the moment when they arrive, I want to have the interaction of we try to dissuade them from going further, and or we have the encounter with whatever horror is waiting for us.
Yes,
At
this is perfect.
At the tomb.
This is perfect. The cavalry is maybe arriving.
The cavalry is about to arrive. I think it is that we have stalled them to a point where the cavalry is about to ride up. That's what our double 6s are.
Okay, cool.
What's Mac up to at that moment?
I think Mac is going to see what's happening, see the things coming together, and is going to helpfully cheer things along.
Okay, great.
Because Mac has a knife and is definitely not close enough for that and is totally okay with that.
That sounds great.
So Mac's going to attempt to hearten Frowen, cheer him on, and hopefully make him kill faster, better, stronger. That's a 6. That's not going to do us.
That's not going to do us.
I'm gonna
with your wits, that's a what, 8?
Yes.
What's the difficulty on that? A 10?
Well, 8 would be easy. 10 is moderate. I think it's probably easy to tell Frowen how to that he does a good job.
I think that feels good to give him like a hope in this moment, especially since Frowen is as much in his element as we could possibly have described.
He is probably just having the best moment of his life.
I'm going to take that point of hope. I'm going to add that point of hope to this roll. We've got the surprise. We've got the sniper's nest. We've got 2 vigor. That's a +4 to this roll to hit an 11. That's a 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. I'm going to re-roll this dice. That's an 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. That's 1 damage. That's what we needed.
Oh, that's perfect.
The shot goes off again. Now they've scattered in a way that we're doing great. We're picking them off piece by piece, right?
I like the idea that Mac's attempt to hearten Frowen is just to give him a line by line reading of an old battle and just explain the context for what an ambush is.
I think it's that, and I think it is. And I think of what I think it is. There's a great moment here where you're giving all of this historical context, and he goes tell me when one of them is directly in front of me. I'm gonna duck low. you just say now, and there's this moment of like, oh yeah, now, fire.
Oh God, that's perfect.
Yeah, I think
That's
I think Josemaeus is now also just continuing to run in swing.
Yes, do it.
Element of surprise.
Like, does he swing in on like a rope? Are we doing that whole thing?
Yeah, for sure. My spending hope here is 10. 8 or better.
I don't think so. I think
8 or better on 2d6 is not bad.
Jeff, we are only halfway there.
Didn't need it. That's
Got
a
it.
9, 10, 11. That is a whole one. That's one off, but that's still picking them off. We are rallying here.
Excellent. Okay, perfect.
Go ahead. What's Mac up to?
I guess Mac is he's gonna get a little
Yeah.
into it. He's gonna pull his knife, and things are looking real well. So he's just gonna at least go get up close. He's gonna
Great.
go get close. Here we go. That's a 5. That didn't work out so well. We're gonna Max. Yeah. Well, his wit would be +1.
So that's a 6.
Yeah. So he's still gonna take some damage.
He's gonna take some damage. I think that the riders because Josemaeus is like full on just swinging his falchion and like swinging his pirate sword. The brawl is unfolding. You are taking your first proper hits. I did roll for throwing, and I got a 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, which is going to knock them down by 5.
I like the idea that in all of this, what actually hurt Mac is like just a swinging branch.
Yeah.
Just like somebody whipped a branch as they ran by.
Yeah, that's great.
Just caught it in the teeth.
The trap went off. It didn't go off great. But we are remarkably in control. We've got them down to a DS of 5. So we've probably knocked off a couple of these riders. Command is scattered.
Let's go. Let's finish.
Let's finish this.
Okay. Back to Mac real fast.
Oh God, no!
Oh no! So remember how Boxcars is awesome and Snake Eyes is bad?
Snake Eyes is the bad thing.
So this is the encounter that gives us everything we could want. Those are Snake Eyes.
Yep.
So now we have to decide what happens to a Hobbit.
Well, I want to propose. I know what I want the bad thing to be. Because I think I think it perfectly balanced. Here's what I want to say, and I want your thoughts on this.
Okay.
Big picture. Mm-hmm. Here's the lay of the land. Here's the big picture. We have zoomed out, and we are seeing this in the Red Book. The Red Book later is explaining the military actions that have unfolded here. Mm-hmm. Faramir, riding the exceptional horses of Rohan, has made an extraordinary distance and is about to arrive at this location. Mm-hmm. Upon seeing that ride was happening, Saruman got wind that there was something in this tomb and was kind of lied to in the same way. Uh-huh. Like the lie spread through, like that he kind of got wind that they had been lied to and was like, well, I can capitalize on that lie. Maybe I take what's in that tomb. Everybody's eyes are on this tomb. Mm-hmm. Who's the third group that's eyes are on this tomb that were much closer to where this tomb was?
The dwarves?
I think there is a dwarven troop I think like the terrible thing is I'm moving this dice to here.
Oh no.
Because I think that like we see a group of dwarven coal miners, scavenger, like a group like
actual hard salt of the earth, like actual hard people.
Our people and like because now the beast is descending upon us and we're not going to go to the tomb and the tomb is coming to us.
That's the best possible outcome, right?
The story of Tubal Lisai it was a dwarven king, mayor, prince.
Can I pause real fast?
Yeah.
Because you asked me like what I thought the worst possible thing was, and I have my wife rides a ton of horses. She loves riding horses, always has. I'm terrified of being stepped on.
Sure.
I thought you were just going to simply suggest that Mac gets crushed by a horse.
Fair and valid, real.
No, but go ahead. No, this is better.
Yeah.
But the story just the idea that just done.
The story of Tubal Lisai was a fortress that was forged by a dwarven like duke, some minor royalty who, amidst an outbreak of like a a small plague that spread, went full doomsday prepper,
Yeah.
and locked himself and his riches in a tomb
That's the most dwarven thing to do.
with the goal of like conquering not just this disease but all diseases and death itself.
Oh, okay, now we've done it.
Yeah, this was a man who said, "I'm going to defeat death. I'm going to lock myself in here." He Walt Disney'd himself. He put himself in a thing and said, "I'm going to come out when when we have immortality."
For the love of God, Montresor.
He maybe amontillatoed himself a little bit, like yeah, maybe. And that tomb laid sealed for many years until like a group of like miners, hard salt of the earth people got wind that there was like enough. It is a separate from whatever we're doing. There is the equivalent of a Coen Brothers movie that has unfolded with these dwarves.
I love it.
Where there's like enough money here to change our lives forever. We smash open the door, Dracula's ass flies out of it, and like I think as Faramir and the riders like arrive and like lay very quick waste to these orcs that we've been fighting, a second like a creature descends overhead and descends upon us because it catches like an arrow or two. Like there is an immediate reaction of like, well, fuck that. I don't know what that is. And now this bat creature is descending upon us. The bat beast of Tubalasai has descended on us.
That is a terrifying phrase. So are we going with like, is it just like bat wings with like harpy type legs?
I think so. I think that's because the thing that I rolled in the adventure table was that we would have to fight bats.
Okay.
And as I was like mapping all of this out, I was like, what I'm staring at is a Dracula. I think what we're staring at is a Disney's gargoyles.
Yeah, that's great. I love the gargoyles.
That's the thing that is now descending upon us.
Oh, that's not good though.
No.
That's not good.
A man consumed by plague and paranoia and reshaped in the depths of his own prison tomb has descended upon us.
I like the
with
idea
a dwarven beard.
And I like the idea that he's the only one that came out.
Yeah. Yeah.
No madman seals themselves alone.
No. No, there's more in there.
Just bones and memories, dust and
memories. Yeah, okay.
So a vampire bat dwarf monster.
Vampire bat dwarf monster is descending upon us, and this is our final battle.
Oh, God. How far on are we?
About a minute, hour 15. We killed this guy.
We can do this. We
killed this guy. We cliffhanger, and we're all set.
Some folks are going to die. It might be a vampire bat. It might be Faramir. It's probably going to be Mac, but we'll see how things go.
Okay. Okay.
I think Mac is going to immediately attempt to use his wit to hide.
Okay.
To set himself up maybe for an ambush or simply to survive whatever's coming.
That sounds great.
Mac. Okay, 7, 8, 9. We're good.
9, great. I think that works. I think you've got a hiding place that'll give you a +1 on future actions, whether that is to evade or to attack from it or whatever.
I love hiding in the woods probably very easy for me.
I think Josemaeus is going to. God damn it! This is a heart roll.
Yeah.
This is a heart roll to tell these motherfuckers kill this man because this is the guy that you were like. This is the moment where we have to convey to these people, hey, this is the thing you were tricked into almost unleashing, but it got
here
unleashed
it is anyway.
I'm going to use a heart.
Come on, Matt, bury this thing. You got this. You got this.
Come on.
That's a 4 and a 5. That's 9.
That's a 9.
Okay. We got no bonuses to this?
No bonuses, but a 9. Does that feel... What is the difficulty of convincing and I guess it's got to be easy, right? Because the thing is here.
Well, yeah, because if you know the name that Faramir knows, you just
that's Tubalasai. Like that's the
Tubalasai, and you just yell it.
Great.
Like all you have to do is just Tubalasai.
Tubalasai.
Jesus Christ.
Great. Yeah. So I think that like works, right? Which means that I think. I don't know how we want to evoke that, but I think like that gives us an advantage to our rolls against this thing.
Okay. I think so.
Maybe we just here's what I'm gonna do. There's enough riders in Faramir's company. They unload on this thing.
Yeah.
We're going to take mob rules on our action, which means that our things increase by 3, which means I am permanently reducing this thing's difficulty score to 9.
That's There we go.
That feels like the balance. That feels like the ruling to make that work.
Perfect, because the actual cavalry has arrived.
The actual cavalry's arrived, and I am telling them like, shoot that thing. Wing trap, 3 rounds.
Well, the nice thing is that takes us off the target priority list.
Yeah.
Because as far as Faramir knows, he just rode into a battle on the wood line.
Yeah.
And now there's a Dracula.
Yeah, exactly.
But the priorities have changed. Dracula number 1. He'll sort the rest later.
We'll sort the rest later.
Tubalasai.
Great. Fuck yeah. Okay.
So Frowen.
Still in this. I'm using surprise in the sniper's nest. I think
just
it's still
throw that
there.
hate. Throw that hate. Frowen's got it in his sights.
That's a 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. That's an 11.
There it is. That's us. That's over the 9, right? So that's 2 points.
That's 2 points damage. Great.
Okay.
All
that's
right.
2 for the Dracula. All right.
Okay.
Oh, God. Okay. So are we using Faramir's guys as just like a static bonus, or do they take an action?
I think I'm representing them as a reduction of 3, and then it's on us for the rest.
Okay. So then we've all gone.
Yeah.
What does Tubalasai do?
Tears at Frowen specifically as the thing that has most directly like.
So he just like falls like a thunderbolt.
Yeah, kill the surprise and kill the sniper's nest for maximum difficulty, and is descending down, is going to try and evade this, which I think has to be no. I think it's bigger because it's just straight up like, I'm fighting this thing. I'm wrestling the dragon.
So honestly, if I'm imagining Frowen as anyone right now, he's just a Josh Brolin type character.
Yes, yeah.
Just
come at me, motherfucker.
just calmly reloading.
Where'd that dice go?
Jeff has rolled a die off the table. It's gone. It's going. We have a 4 and we have
Another 4.
Okay.
Which is a success. That means that ends up Frowen actually does an additional 1 damage to this thing.
And Jeff, I am not going to come at you in your own house, but we all know that if it's not rolled on the table, it doesn't count.
That's right. You're right.
That's even better.
All
right, so we went from an 8 to a 10.
So that means that it goes down to a 4. Okay,
Ooh,
we've almost struck this thing down.
Okay. All right.
But I think what I'm going to do, I think for Max, because I think being in the presence of this thing, I am going to have to make a second roll.
Okay.
I'm adding a ruling here immediately.
All right, what are we doing?
Frowen's got to make a roll. Mm-hmm. Has to make a moderate heart roll.
Okay.
Which is not easy, because Frowen has 0 heart. And it does not succeed.
Okay.
Frowen is marked by a point of shadow.
Okay. And shadow is what, just like the general erosion of your well-being?
It is the erosion of your well-being. It is the embrace of, it is hopelessness, it is despair, it is corruption. It is the influence of the evil one, like, seeping in, and it is being in the presence of something this horrific and ancient and, like, an embodiment of such pure evil and malice and greed seeps into your being. If you engage this thing in melee, you have to resist the call of the shadow.
Oh God. So it's like it's the soul grinding fear of knowing that a devil sees you.
Yeah, exactly. You've got it exactly right.
Oh God.
We don't want to get into melee with this thing, as Frowen has now discovered. Great.
All right, cool. Oh no. Well, Mac has a knife, and that's all he was able to bring. And you know, he's got some wit, and he's got some heart, and he's got 0 vigor. But he came for this.
Yeah.
He came for this. He has to. Oh no. I think Mac's going to take a second and consider mortality.
Okay. Sure.
And then he's going to try to dive on Tubalasai.
Great. I love it. Okay.
Okay, here we go. We're going to burn some hope.
Burn some hope.
Because
Burn
he has to hope. He only has hope and a knife. Here we go, boys.
You might be able to do this.
Oh, here goes long-winded Mac Boffin of the Buckland Boffins. Oh, do I keep it?
I think.
Do I keep
Here's
it?
what I'll say.
Because I rolled a 6 and a 4.
You have killed this thing.
Okay, hold on. Okay.
That is a 7.
7 still gets me.
You have no longer killed this thing. Now that I'm realizing.
All right. Hope turned to greed and turned to wickedness.
Well, yeah, you got, which I think, like, here's how I'm going to frame this, because I still want you to make the shadow roll.
Yeah, of course.
You stab this thing, and it dies. And then its head turns to look at you,
Oh.
And like it releases Froen, and like backwards head stands up as it like turns the rest of its body.
Oh, God.
Your understanding of mortality itself has been shaken. Give me a moderate defense against the shadow roll.
Okay. And what do I get to add to this? Is it nothing?
You can add.
Is it heart?
Your heart.
Okay. So that's
You
a
can,
1.
you can add your heart. You can choose to roll hope, but your difficulty is a 10.
Oh, okay.
You can also add a fellowship. We only spent 1 point of fellowship. We have 3 fellowship. We have 2 fellowship left to spend.
Well, to be fair, the idea that there were friends and other people doing the real work were the only things that got Mac out the door, I feel like we're good for that.
That feels good.
Okay. All right, so we get 1 for... 1 for heart,
1 for fellowship.
1 for fellowship, and here we go. And a moderate for 10.
That's an 8 plus 2 is 10.
It takes everything and everyone to keep Mac from dying.
And that is the killing blow from Josemaeus, like coming at, like from behind, hacking into this thing with a falchion, saving his friend,
Swooping in for the kill.
swooping in for the kill, looking very cool in the process.
This is the perfect way for these 3 characters to interact with each other.
Yeah.
We have the professional doing his job and getting his ass kicked for it. We have Mac pretending to be something he's not and hoping for the best and narrowly surviving.
narrowly avoiding nightmare, and then the pirate looking cool with a pulling it out at the last minute.
Ha-ha.
Hell yes, incredible. So we are staring, like the dead body of this thing is looming before us. We are battered, we are broken, and the riders are like, I think Faramir hops off the horse and like kicks at it once just to make sure.
Ugh.
Huh. Tubalasai?
Tubalasai.
It seems that our sources were misinformed about the true nature of this beast.
You know, misinformation has been the downfall of many armies throughout history. And
Oh, but I know Faramir's whole vibe as a guy, and I think it's not great in this moment, because I do think there's a moment of, but if the Lord of the Tomb's dead, if there is such a weapon, it might be unguarded.
we're dealing with young Faramir.
Yeah.
Thirsty Faramir.
Thirsty for adventure, overshadowed by his brother. The guy who is introduced as having been out in the woods fucking around for years, going, I'm going to find something to prove that I'm the cool big brother.
Oh, man. I mean, Mac is so far out of his element right now. He's absolutely shell-shocked, and he's just covered in black ichor.
Yeah.
No comment. Nothing to... Just watching Faramir kind of turn this over in his head. Oh, man.
I think there is a moment where he turns to... I think each of our 3 characters should get a weigh in, because I think that this is not even a roll. This is us. This is the debate about whether or not we go forward into the tomb. Mac's perspective.
I think Mac's perspective is that he's been playing an adventurer.
Yeah.
And this is exactly as far as he wants to go. The ride stopped being fun. I'd like to go home now.
Joe's and I think this is so great, because Frowen's perspective is like, we killed this thing. I killed this thing. I can take whatever's in there. I think maybe even that's the representation of the 1 point of shadow, is like, for him it's dragon sickness, right? I haven't died.
It's that bloodlust.
Yeah, he's got a little bit of bloodlust. He's like, I could kill whatever's in there. We killed this guy. This guy was the boss, apparently. And I think it's Josemaeus, I think, sides with Mac of like, we were like, I am here to tell you, pointing at Faramir, to not go in there because of this thing.
Right. Well, the problem with that logic is now the thing is dead.
Yeah, but we don't know what worse thing is still in there.
Yeah, that's fair.
You can go forward and die in a tomb if you want. I am taking my friend back to his home, where we are going to get very drunk at an inn in the city, and then I'm going to get on my boat and go back on the water, where I can raid boats and live a life of relative ease and comfort.
The proper pirate.
I'm gonna go be a gentleman bandit and not go be some sort of fucked up monster hunter.
And Mac is going to spend a lot of time drinking. I like to think that there is a reality here where, they follow Faramir in and then they just break it up behind him.
Yeah.
We go,
Yeah, I don't need this. This is for you guys. My name's Paul. This is between y'all. I think that, like, there is a parting of the ways where they depart. I think Faramir, hold on. I got to roll a second dice here.
Faramir's got a job to do, right? And he's a son of Denethor. He knows his duty.
I think the thing that has happened, I gave an impromptu +2 heart check to Faramir, and I think he passed. I think he rallies most of his riders to depart with you, and there we get the returning home shot of them surrounded. Mm-hmm. I don't think all of them do. I think a handful of them have that exact perspective of we were given a job. I'm going into that tomb to get whatever ancient sword is there that we can use in the fight.
Yep.
And Faramir's there will be other fights, other days. This was a trap sending us to our deaths. We're not doing this. Mm-hmm. We're going home.
And Frowen is just y'all want to go?
Oh, I love that. That's the parting of the ways. Is Frowen with 3 of the other riders is y'all want to do this, and they're the ones that depart. We see the parting of the ways, and that is the end of our story.
That's fantastic.
This ripped, man. I'm so happy about this.
This is so much fun.
This kicked so much ass. I'm so happy about this. Thank you so much for playing this with me. What was your favorite moment from play?
I mean, honest to God, it was the moment where you brought Faramir up to the edge of the woods. We got those boxcars, and then we got the snake eyes in the same fight.
Really incredible. I could not be happy because both times I was like, I know that I put a monster in that tomb, and I was and also if we don't actually get Faramir to back off, it won't feel right. So and both times it was well, the opportunity's here. We have to do something. Mm-hmm. It just felt right.
Yeah, from a storytelling perspective, this was fantastic. I love this system. I love Lord of the Rings. I really
do. I have a real soft spot for Lord of the Rings. This was magic. Thank you so much for joining me. Where can people find you and your work?
Okay, so the podcast that I'm on is Fool of a Took Podcast. We do video on YouTube. Full video episodes of every chapter. Lord of the Rings, we've gone through the Fellowship of the Ring, we've gone through the Two Towers. We're currently on our season 3 for the Return of the King. It's going to rock. We're also on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, and all the rest of that. We're on Facebook, Instagram, and TikTok. We've got plenty of content, lots of shorts, lots of fun stuff.
Love it. Incredible. Thank you so much for joining me. This was a real joy. Thank you, as always, to Unity Java for hosting us for these monthly events. This is great. We have such a blast here. It is a real joy. This is Party of One. You can find us at partyofonepodcast.com. You can find the show wherever you get your podcasts. You can find me on social media at jeffstormer.gobirds.online. Let's see. What else do I do here? I feel like I usually have a list. Party of One is produced and edited, as always, by Jeff Stormer and Jen Frank. And I think that's most of the things that we shout out. So thank you all for hanging out here live. Thank you for listening at home. And until next time, as always, fight the forces of fascism every single day. Remember that self-love and self-care, radical and defiant acts of resistance. Party on and go birds.
Go birds.